to the Sony World Photography Awards 2022. For the 15th year running, the world's leading photography competition brings together photographers across the globe to celebrate the artistry and accomplishments of the photographic image. Over the last few months, our judges have looked through over 344,000 entries from more than 200 countries and territories. Over the next half hour, I will be revealing which amazing photographers have won this prestigious trophy. Open to 12 to 19-year-olds, the youth competition aims to encourage the next generation of photographers. They are tasked with submitting images responding to specific monthly themes. And as you can see from the entries, there is a wealth of exciting new talent out there. I'm delighted to reveal that the 2022 Youth Photographer of the Year is Tri Nguyen from Vietnam. Congratulations! Tri is 18 years old and has been awarded for their piece Under the Moonlight, submitted under the Portraiture category.
Having my photograph accepted by a panel of judges is a huge accomplishment in my photography career. I've never had something this big before, and being acknowledged gives me motivation to further hone my craft and take more photographs. And it also shows that a lot of my hard work and many nights that I go out to take photos and try to experiment and planning for different ideas, it truly paid off, and it means a lot to be recognized.
Most of the photos in this category are visualization or representation of something wonderful that photographer is intrigued by using their imagination to create a photographic image.
The student competition provides a platform for photography students worldwide. Academic institutions were invited to nominate their most promising photography students, asking them to submit a series of 5 to 10 images in response to a brief. This year's brief, Connections, reflects on how recently we have had to think differently about how we connect with new challenges and new technologies. Entrants were invited to consider, how do you connect with your surroundings or local environment? How do you create bonds with your family, friends, and colleagues? How do you nurture and develop these links to ensure they endure for years to come? From these submissions, just 10 photographers were shortlisted. And I can now reveal that the winner of the 2022 Student Photographer of the Year is Ezra Baum for the Nederlandse Academie voor Beeld Creatief, Netherlands. Ezra won for his project The Identity of Holland, for which he photographed the last remaining traditional costumes of the Netherlands to celebrate and cherish the country's ancient culture. This coveted award elevates Ezra's work to global notice and secures Sony photography equipment worth €30,000 for him and his university.
To win the prize is for me a confirmation not only to photograph what is expected of me, but more tell stories that come from my heart. And I think by listening to your inner drive, everything becomes more meaningful and probably at the end of the day also more successful.
Now we're really proud of Ezra as a student and winning this prize. And for him it's a great achievement, we think. And it is probably a great kickstart for his career, where we really have some faith in. And for us, it's the confirmation of the quality of our education.
I think the first thing that comes to mind when I look at his work, I'm looking at it now, and it's definitely the control use of light. He was able to use it very naturally, very soft, and that's a difficult thing to do. It's to really channel in on controlling light. I think he did a really good job with that, and also color and having the story behind the series as well. So that's kind of the reason why I selected that the most.
The open competition is open to anyone to submit their most striking single images taken in 2021 into one of 10 categories. The competition celebrates enthusiast photographers around the world whose curiosity and willingness to explore has led them to uncover stunning stories and imagery. This year's collection of shortlisted images are an inspiring representation of photography's lasting power as an accessible artistic medium. Selected from a shortlist of 10 category winners, I am thrilled to announce that the overall winner of the 2022 Open Photographer of the Year is Scott Wilson from the UK. Scott's work, Anger Management, was submitted in the Nature and Wildlife category and depicts a wild Mustang stallion kicking up a dust storm in northwestern Colorado.
I'm very grateful to Sony and the World Photography Awards team. It's brilliant. I mean, I was ecstatic just to be on the shortlist. So when I actually got the phone call, I was at a horse art show, funnily enough, in Denver, Colorado. And I got the phone call saying, you've won the Photographer of the Year award. And I was just absolutely blown away. I mean, it's fantastic for me, but it's also putting the wild horse on an international stage as well, which I think is wonderful. Read out, it says Sony World Photography Awards, Photographer of the Year, Scott Wilson. So that was absolutely fantastic, and I'm very grateful to receive it.
Black and white photography holds a special place in the heart of many photographers. The simplicity of black and white has the power to distill the content of an image and direct the viewer's attention to the subject.
The professional competition showcases the outstanding achievements in our industry and the power of the photographic image to narrate, captivate, and innovate. This competition is judged on a body of work. Artists submit 5 to 10 images that respond to one of 10 diverse categories. The submissions are rigorously judged by a panel of industry-leading experts for its narrative excellence, its technical skill, and its innovation and creativity. Let's look at the fantastic work of the finalists in each category and discover who is the winner. The Architecture and Design category celebrates photographers whose images help us to think about the places around us in a different light. Their powerful images engage with familiar structures, revealing hidden meanings and untold stories. The 3 finalists are Yoon Chi Chen for Blueprint, a series of multi-layered images imitating the process of a traditional architectural blueprint using digital post-production techniques. Javier Arsenillas for Nur Sultan, which documents the remarkable and eccentric architecture of the capital of Kazakhstan. And Domagoj Burlovic for Dorf, a series which uses montage to express the irony of how nature has reclaimed the houses of Slavonia. And I'm excited to reveal that the winner of this year's award is Domagoj Burlovic for Dorf.
It gives a great value to my work and to this particular topic because I think from, of course, my perspective that this topic is important, and this award gives a great global recognition to me and my work, of course.
I think the winner of the category, the series called Dorf, is one such example of the negotiation and the relationship between that which is lived and seen and that which is created and fictionalized. There's a great interplay between the inside and the outside in this work. You almost feel like you can enter the spaces, but at the same time you are also observing those spaces. There's a sense of inhabiting this world, but also a sense of observing this world. And I suppose that has a lot to do about the way in which the series has been shot.
The creative category showcases photographers who have thought a little outside the box, whether that's in the topic they have chosen to follow or in the technical choices they made. Every year, this category brings exciting new surprises, and this year is no different. The 3 finalists are Alnis Stackel for Mellow Apocalypse, which reprises visuals from open source collections to create intricately detailed collages. Sarah Greth for Sometimes the Sky Above Us is Open, which documents the photographer's journey to her mother's hometown. And Rafael Nial for New Waves, a series which juxtaposes scenes of climate change with teenagers' portraits. And I'm delighted to reveal that the winner of the 2022 Creative Award is Alnis Stackel for their series Mellow Apocalypse.
As a photography teacher, I almost 20 years actually. I always had the opportunity to work with images, and I always have to kind of comment on them and try to understand and rewrite in some way history every time when I see the same images or new images commenting on similar issues. So it's a main thing why I'm so interested in archive and open source archive.
I had this sort of creation of a collage. So there was a mixture of different elements combined in one whole thing. And as much as the category is creative, it's also very good for you, the photographer, to also, find other ways and means to also impress with the audience as well. So yeah, that particular series was very wonderful. Yeah.
The Documentary Projects category recognizes photographers who have sought to share stories from people and communities around the world, helping a wider audience understand complex topics and events. The 3 finalists are Jan Grarup for The Children of the Financial Collapse in Venezuela, which depicts the scenes of the desperation and abject poverty of Venezuelans in Colombia. Win Muknami for Insurrection, which captures the dramatic scenes of a mob descending on the US Capitol in January 2021. And Fabian Ritter for The Long Days of Hanau, which documents the reaction of communities in Hanau in the aftermath of violent racist attacks. And it's my pleasure to reveal that the 2022 winner of the documentary project is Jan Grarup for The Children of the Financial Collapse in Venezuela.
Having a panel of juries or a jury recognizing the work as being strong enough to receive an award obviously means a lot to me. And again, the exposure to the actual story, into the fact that people around the world will actually find out more about what is going on in Colombia and in particular in Venezuela, obviously means a lot to me. That is why I'm a photojournalist, and that's why I'm trying to tell stories about people.
Jan Grarup's black and white photography is the perfect example of the genre. And the absence of colour actually makes the people in the story stand out even more. There's so little distraction apart from the narrative he wants you to read, and that's what makes it such a powerful and moving story.
A single topic unites this year's 3 chosen photographers in the environment category: climate change. The astounding work in this category showcases captivating stories with an urgent message. The 3 finalists are Shunta Kimura for Living in the Transition, which explores the impacts of climate change in Bangladesh, where locals increasingly contend with its effects. Giacomo D'Orlando for Nemo's Garden, which documents the world's first underwater greenhouse. And Gideon Mendel for Portraits in Ashes, a series which poignantly captures the destruction in the wake of wildfires in Greece, Canada, and the US. And the winner of the 2022 Environment Award is Shunta Kimura for their series, Living in the Transition.
It's a great honor for me to be awarded this prize because it's the first time to receive any prizes for me.
The series that has won the award, I think there was a great rooting in what is required and what is prescient and what is urgent right now. And that is to look at the lives that are being affected by global warming. So I think, there was a key sense of all that's being lost in terms of life, but also what might be lost in terms of narratives and stories about the remotest corners of the world. And we're using the environment to get to those corners and tell those stories.
This year's selected photographers in the landscape category have captured dramatic images that present the viewer with a unique and sometimes abstract perspective on the world around us. The finalists are Lorenzo Poli for Life on Earth, a series which delves into the mysterious beauty of an untamed world. Gareth Yan Jones for Tree, where he turned his lens to the figures of trees against the dusk sky to create portrait-like images. And Andreas Repsis for Solar Graphic, a series that captures sustainable energy sources from above, reducing them to graphic abstractions. And I'm delighted to reveal that the winner of the 2022 Landscape Award is Lorenzo Poli for Life on Earth.
I would say I'm very grateful to the Sony Award because my first ever competition was last year, where one of my pictures was shortlisted. So this year I decided maybe I'd like to tell a story or something which is part of what I see while photographing, and I'm actually so delighted that I can spread this message to a wider audience indeed.
One of the things that made Lorenzo's work stand out from the other photographers in the landscape category was how well it worked together as a series, but more importantly, how powerful each individual image was. It really spoke to the subject, and it responded to the subject in a very visual and beautiful way. And that really, I think, allowed it to rise to the top.
The Portfolio Award is slightly different to other categories in this competition because it recognizes work from across the entirety of the photographer's career. It celebrates consistent excellence and the ability of the photographer to impart a sense of their own personality on their work, no matter the client or brief. The three finalists are Anna Neubauer, whose thoughtful portraits explore the photographer's desire to move away from traditional stereotypes and celebrate diversity. Julian Anderson, who presented a series of portraiture, landscape, and still life images taken for various magazine assignments. And Hugh Fox, whose work beautifully captures quiet moments of daily life during the pandemic. And I'm excited to announce that the winner of the 2022 Portfolio Award is Hugh Fox.
To receive an award like this is confirmation to myself and all artists out there that sticking to what you believe in and what comes naturally to you, working hard at it, honing your skills, and then putting the work out there, entering competitions like this can really pay off.
In selecting Hugh Fox as this year's winner for the Portfolio category, there was a tone that resonated throughout all of his work. They are these individual, quiet moments, and they are wonderful to see, and yet they're each so different that made it very, very intriguing as a selection of work.
portraiture photography allows us a rare glimpse into the soul of a person. It's one of the most popular forms of photography, which makes it an especially difficult field to stand out in. The finalists are George Tataki for Kariatis 2021, a study of Greek women's traditional costumes deriving from different time periods in Greece's rich history. Brent Sturton for Bushmeat Hunters, a series of portraits of hunters evoking traditional paintings of huntsmen. And Adam Ferguson for Migrantes, a series of self-portraits which depicts migrants in Mexico as they wait to cross the border to the US. And I'm delighted to reveal that the winner of the 2022 award for portraiture is Adam Ferguson for Migrantes.
I'm very grateful that this collaborative work has been recognised, and I think in the co-authorship and the collaborative nature of this work, I'm very grateful to all the migrants who participated in making this work and were brave enough not just to undertake a very arduous journey, but within that were also brave enough to spend time with me and share their stories with me and participate in this kind of photographic process to share their story with a wider audience. So I'm very grateful to all the individuals that made this work possible.
The photographer invites the subjects to choose the moment of the capture, and in a way it's the inversion of give the power to the portrait to be the owner of their view and the way they can be presented to the world. And this is really an impact series. It's really a love letter to the author and to the piece, and it's a celebration for the piece.
No matter where you are in the world, sport has an uncanny ability to bring people together, creating camaraderie and rivalries amongst people who would otherwise be strangers. The three finalists are Roman Vondrus for Loyal Fans, portraying the zeal and devotion of the fans of Bohemians Prague 1905 Football Club. Ricardo Teles for Cuarup, a series documenting a ritual of the Xingu indigenous Brazilians to honor the dead, and which includes a martial art called Huka Huka. And Adam Petty for Tokyo 2021, documenting the drama and excitement of the Olympics. And I'm excited to reveal that the winner of the 2022 award for sport photography is Ricardo Teles for Cuarup.
Well, it's a huge honor. It's beautiful. It opens many doors for me and give me the energy to keep going and to make better stories and projects.
The vivacity of colors and tremendous impact of the compositions and the dynamic of the scenes add this category really a fresh input, valuing the diversity and interculturality and how sports and resistance could be together.
First impressions can be deceiving. Photographers in the still life category are masters of observation. Through their photography, they're able to imbue objects with meaning and beauty, to create stunning work that rewards a second look. This year's finalists are Cletus Nelson Nuadiki for Nigeria to Nusha, featuring objects photographed in the snow that reminded the photographer of home as a way to grieve his mother. Collaborators Haruna Ogata and Jean-Etienne Portet for Constellation, a series featuring colorful abstract sculptures, which they photographed. And Alessandro Gandolfi for Concordia, a series depicting belongings rescued from the wreck of the Costa Concordia, a cruise ship which sank in 2012. And I'm delighted to reveal that the winner of the 2022 Still Life Award is Haruna Ogata and Jean-Etienne Portet for their collaborative series, Constellation.
I'm so happy to show our creativity and our creation for another people that we can't imagine and we can't present ourselves. I'm so happy to this opportunity.
As much as the images were very simple and in a very light mode, I like how the photographer was really, expressing more colors, but making sure that the images really followed, the same blend and also had the same structure, cutting across to all images, yeah.
The wildlife and nature category showcases the beauty of the natural world around us. This year, our shortlisted photographers explore the wilds of Romania, Hungary, and Italy, capturing beautiful once-in-a-lifetime moments and exposing how mankind's fascination with animals can have unforeseen consequences. This year's finalists are Milan Radicic for The Fox's Tale, which sees the photographer documenting a young fox visiting his back garden every night. Oana Bakovic for Absolute Beginner, a series of images exploring the beauty of the flora in the photographer's local area. And Federico Borella for Exotic Appetite, Inside the Italian Exotic Animal Trade, a series which looks at the lesser-known trade of live exotic animals in Italy. And I'm delighted to announce that the winner of the 2022 award for Wildlife and Nature is Milan Radicic for their series, The Fox's Tale.
4 years ago, I turned my occupation to be a full-time photographer, and my primary focus is nature, environment, and human impacts on environment. And I want to inspire people to get closer to the nature and to live in harmony with environment, because I think this is our key for the future.
The way he has captured all the elements of his life in the city is rather brilliant. It's as much to do with patience and production and understanding of the creature's behaviour. His imagination of where to shoot it, whether it's in the car, on a wood pile. There's a good production design around this as much as anything, so it tells a story in an interesting way of something that we just take for granted.
The Outstanding Contribution to Photography Award honors a person or group of people that have made a significant impact on the photographic medium. To introduce this year's recipient, I am delighted to welcome PR Director at the World Photography Organization, Imbal Mizrahi.
This year's worthy recipient is the acclaimed Canadian photographer Edward Burtynsky. Burtynsky is widely regarded as one of the world's most accomplished contemporary photographers. Throughout the course of his 40-year career, he has dedicated his practice to exploring the collective impact we as a species are having on the planet. Largely taken from a bird's-eye view, he presents vistas of scarred mountain ranges, desiccated bodies of water, and sprawling urbanism distilled into painterly abstractions of color and form. Both wondrous and terrifying, Burtynsky's epic landscapes lure us in with their striking beauty, transfixing our gaze as they gradually reveal the awesome scale of the devastation captured. Congratulations to Edward Burtynsky for a truly incredible body of work, which we will explore in the next film.
Well, I'm really excited about receiving the Outstanding Contribution to Photography Award offered by Sony. It somehow validates a 40-year project that I've been traveling around the world to try and show the impact that humans are having on the planet.
I'm delighted that Ed Burtynsky has been chosen for this prize. I suspect that experts would say he won it because he's a photographer's photographer. He's simply the best at his craft. He expresses things and emotions for which most of us just simply don't have the right words.
It is political. It provokes us into thinking about what we're actually doing and why we're doing it and what the ripple effects of it are on this planet that we're living on. And it insists on reconsideration of our behavior and our values. And I deeply appreciate that your work has essentially been an advocate for us to pay attention to the damage that we're doing to this planet that we live on.
His work for the last 25, 30 years has been outstanding. And, he treats the subject with the importance it deserves. You know, he actually makes some of these environmental disasters look beautiful. It kind of creates a conflict in the viewer between a photograph that's aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time a horrific situation. And I think it's exactly the type of effect he wants us to have, because there is always a conflict when it comes to environmental issues.
There's a long list of individual projects, all extremely well conceived, executed, and completed, and all hang together aesthetically, conceptually, and together they come into what we often call an oeuvre, which is sometimes with photographers it's a word which is a little pretentious, but in Ed's case I think it's thoroughly deserved.
Edward, this is a magnificent award, and you more than deserve it.
I think the world needs to both see and to hear the real insights you bring.
Can't wait to see what more comes to us through your lens. Congratulations, all the best.
From the 10 professional category winners, 1 is crowned the overall winner and the Photographer of the Year. This prestigious award helps to establish the finest photographers of our time. Winning the award leads to international acclaim, as well as a generous reward of $25,000 and Sony digital imaging equipment. To announce this award, it is my honor to introduce Scott Gray, the founder and CEO of the World Photography Organization.
I hope you've enjoyed this year's winners. By welcoming such a vast array of work from talented artists and photographers, the shortlisted and winning images bring together the pertinent, the interesting, quirky, and challenging topics of our world today. Now, each year we challenge photographers and the jury to find new work and original ways of capturing those ideas so as to provide fresh perspectives and original concepts. Now, this year's winners have done exactly that, pushing the boundaries of creativity and showing the depth and the versatility of photography. The Sony World Photography Awards mirror the state of contemporary photography today, and I think that the winners show what an incredibly diverse, stimulating, and comprehensive medium it is. Now, as an organisation, our role is to now celebrate these artists, and that starts with the winners exhibition in London here today. Now, the outreach and the opportunities that we provide to the photographers throughout the awards programme is very much thanks to our partnership with Sony. Sony are passionately committed to the support of creators around the world, and we are incredibly grateful for their vision and their continued support of this medium. Now, I would like to announce the winner of the 2022 Sony World Photography Awards. Now, this year's worthy recipient of the Photographer of the Year is Adam Ferguson from the Grantham.
As the overall winner, Adam Ferguson's work really spoke to me across many, many levels. And it is more than document, it's more than portrait, it's more than political, yet it's all those things wrapped together.
What's interesting about them is that he has given them the shutter release, so they're effectively self-portraits, produced and guided by him, but the subject chooses when they press the button how they want to be seen. He's given control back to people who normally probably feel they don't have that much control in their life. So for us, it quickly became clear that it was going to be the winner of the portraiture section, and as it turned out, having gone through all the great work we've seen this year, we felt he was deserving, just because of his sensitivity as much as anything, of the overall prize.
The series makes us question who we are when placed in trying circumstances. If there is a chance for us to speak about ourselves and through our own words and through images of ourselves, then that becomes a very sort of prominent reason, significant reason for this particular series to receive the award.
It's always an honour to receive an award. I mean, I think for this particular work, I received this award on behalf of myself and the subjects. It's very exciting to see collaborative work like this awarded. It's exciting that it is exhibited in London as well as other places. It's always so important when work is given a second life like this. So I'm really excited that the work can live again through the World Photography Organization.
Congratulations to all of the winners. What a journey and what inspirational and fantastic work we've seen. The Sony World Photography Awards 2022 exhibition opens at Somerset House, London, from the 13th of April to the 2nd of May. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the work of the photographers in this competition, or how to enter next year's competition, which opens on the 1st of June, head to worldphoto.org. We are looking forward to seeing your work next year, and goodbye for now.